I got an email yesterday from Slug about the topic of the left needing better arguments when it comes to the topic of abortion. In other words, the left needs to be better prepared and better articulate the absurdity of the right wing position on abortion rights and the obvious logic of the left wing position on abortion rights in the United States. And Slug pointed out in this email to me, which was really great, a thoughtful email, that one of the main topics of discussion in the abortion rights debate in the United States, at least, between just people who engage in the topic, when does life begin, is this major topic of discussion. Is it a person or not? Exactly when does life begin? What about personhood? And then we say, I would argue accurately so, well, if it's a person 5 weeks after conception, then should there be child support for that person at 5 weeks after conception? Should there be citizenship, even if the fetus is the child of an undocumented immigrant? If it's a person at 5 weeks, then maybe there should be citizenship. And if so, that means you can't deport a pregnant woman, regardless of her immigration status, because she has a real person in the womb. So, there's all these conversations and it's fine. But Slug argues that it's a waste of time in the sense that at the end of the day, it really is a philosophical question and in a sense, a religious question or a philosophical question informed by religion. The anti-choice right isn't going to accept arguments from doctors anyway. Imagine that doctors could say, hey, you know what? It's a person after 27 weeks. The right's not going to accept that anyway. So maybe it's sort of a futile effort to debate that. And at the end of the day, we don't make law on philosophical or religious beliefs, or at least we shouldn't. Although we know that fundamentally Christianity is at the core of much of anti-abortion sentiment in the United States. Fine. So Slug's idea is the right says abortion is murder, so the state can legislate around abortion on the basis that it's like murder. But really, we should be saying, no. Abortion is more like organ or tissue donation. This is the idea. And in fact, before the fetus is viable outside the womb, it's really a lot like organ and tissue donation in terms of our legal framework around it. We don't force people ever to give away an organ or to donate blood or to donate plasma, as Trump used to call it, or bone marrow. We don't do that. Even in some cases, and there are many of them, where someone needs blood or bone marrow or an organ to survive, right? There's a life on the line. We never legislate that you have to do this thing. You have to donate bone marrow or whatever the case may be. And in fact, people regularly require those donations to survive, and many people don't get them and they die. People die on waiting lists all the time. That's tragic. But we don't force anyone to go under the knife and donate a kidney or get hooked up to, it's not an IV. It's to get hooked up to have blood or plasma or whatever taken. And we never charge people who don't do those things with murder nor manslaughter. It's never even part of the conversation. You've got to register as an organ donor to even be contacted. Corpses can't even be harvested for anything without written permission, right? If forcing organ or tissue or blood donation is considered too invasive for anyone to ever talk about doing it by law, how is forcing a woman to lend her uterus for a fetus to develop acceptable, since it's even more of an invasion of privacy and a violation of bodily autonomy than donating blood or plasma or a kidney? The fetus uses the mother's body for 9 months. It causes permanent changes. It risks health issues. Potentially, you can even die through pregnancy. Not to mention, obviously, the responsibility being placed on the mother for 18 plus years, 25 plus years, 35 plus years. Some other millennials will understand. So the idea here is, from Slug, maybe the left should stop arguing about when life begins and start forcing the anti-choicers to admit, They think the fetus deserves more rights than everyone else, and women deserve less bodily autonomy than everyone else. It's still sort of an in-process idea that a viewer sent to me. I wanted to share it with you. Send me your thoughts as to whether you think this might be a better angle or a useful angle. And again, remember, it's not so much about convincing the anti-choice right-wingers. It's about framing the argument in terms that aren't subject to just philosophy. I mean, we don't force organ donation. We just don't. And lives do depend on it. We don't force tissue donation, blood donation, whatever. And lives do depend on it. If we don't do that, the invasion of forcing a woman to carry a pregnancy to term is far more significant. And so how do we justify that? Doesn't seem to make any sense. Let me know what you think. We'll do a follow-up. You can find me on Twitter at dpacman. And I want to mention again, and we are seeing what's happening with our mailing list is out of this world. On Monday, I mentioned that on Memorial Day, we're going to do a one-day membership special. We're going to blow out memberships to finish out May. We may run out of memberships, quite frankly, at a major discount. We're doing it on a holiday because my lawyer would never allow me to do this on a business day. He would say, no, don't. This is too cheap. Our accountant would say, David, this is terrible. Business manager would say it's too big of a discount. So I'm doing this on a federal holiday while they're all sleeping and not paying attention. Monday, Memorial Day, get on our mailing list at davidpacman.com. You'll get an email telling you, here's the discount code. It's good today only. Become a member, and you'll get all the perks that come with membership. The bonus show, of course, which Alex Jones hates.
Oh, the bonus show where you want to make money, but everybody else that makes money to fund themselves is bad.
He's furious about it. The commercial-free audio feed of the show, the commercial-free video feed of the show, priority access during viewer town halls, the next of which I'll be announcing soon. So all you have to do today is get on the mailing list at davidpacman.com, and then you'll hear from us on Memorial Day.